Faith here again. So this tutorial is based on a request, although I think I had it in mind before. In this video, we are just going to do simple user registration and login. So and adding JWT support. JWT is JSON Web Token. So we're going to be using a package for the Django REST framework that we have been working with for some time now. Actually, this video is like a prerequisite, sort of, yeah, for this video. So this video here, let's create an e-commerce API with Django and Django REST framework. So I'm going to using this same code. I'm going to be doing it on this e-commerce API actually. So let's go ahead. First, I already have my code open here. Let me just go straight to installing the package. So and it's I will just do a ppm install Django REST framework underscore simple JWT. Okay, hit enter and it's going to install it for you. So let's wait a little while it's installing the package for us. So actually we already have some serializers here. There is a user serializer, but I don't know what I'm using it for, so I'm not going to use this. I'll create another serializer, like a sort of a registration serializer somewhere. So let's see. Okay, installation is succeeded. Okay, now, okay, great. So now we can just dive right into it now. So actually, since you have already added REST framework here as installed app, so it's going to work. Simple JWT will work just out of the box, so you don't need to add it to installed apps again. So also, I will not use. You come to REST framework configuration parameters in settings.py. So default authentication classes will now be. Let me try to comment this guy out. Let me comment this out. So we're going to have REST underscore framework underscore simple JWT dot authentication dot JWT authentication. Yeah. Okay. Did I write that correctly? Okay. Okay. So now we're getting there. So okay. So I'm going to create a URL for it. I don't know for our registration. I'm trying to decide. Should I create another app for user authentication? Or just do it in the serializers here and so on. Okay, let me just do it right here. Yeah, in this our main Django API app. So firstly, I'll start with the serializer. You create the serializer. Let me call it registration serializer. Sorry, class registration serializer to extend the same serializers dot model serializer. Okay, so you have a class, excuse me, have a class meta, we have a model Model is a default auth user. Now I must also point this out. We're going to use the default auth user here. I mean this guy, Django contrib auth models user. So because I'm just cool with, look at this, just cool with having first name, last name, email, username, etc. So if you need more power or you need more control over the feeds that the user have, so you might want to create a custom user model. So I'll use user just out of the box. So user, okay, and fields. Fields will be what are those fields? So I actually want first name to come first. First name, last name, email, then username. Actually want the username too. Okay, username, password. Yeah, we'll have to ask the user for a password. Password. Okay, and then password. I think that's all. So now we will have to override two methods. I actually want a validate, probably do some cell values. So I don't want to use value. Let's say args arguments. Okay, and let me put a pass here. I also want to do override the create too. So the create too, validated data. This will take validated data. Okay, so before that I want to explicitly define all these fields. Let me see. First name will be serializers dot char field. Yeah, I want to do some validation stunts. So the max length is 150. 150. Okay, minimum length. No, actually, I don't care. Whatever the first name and last name, whatever they are. So I want the email. I'm just interested in validating particularly the email and username. So email will be serializers dot email feed. There's an email feed. So max length. Want 50. 50 is okay. Min length, email cannot be less than 6. Yeah, min length. So password, I really want something about the password too. The password, I don't want to be writing the password out for the user to see on the screen. So I want to do something, clearly define the password field too. So it's a char field. So I'm going to say max length, a very long value, I don't know. Say 150 characters. Then I want to set write only, more importantly, write only. I want to set it to true. That is, user cannot read it on the screen, can only write to it when they are registering. So okay, so let's do the validate now. The validate, I want two things actually. Two guys, like I told you, I'm interested in the email and password. Okay, yeah, I think username too is a good idea. So let me try serializers dot char field. Oh, I didn't write my char field well here. Okay, cool. So I think I'm interested in the max length of the username is it's 50. 50 is cool. Min length, Mean length is 6. Okay, cool, cool. Serializers. What is wrong? Serializers here. Okay, so let's go ahead and validate. So I want to validate the email and the username and check if they exist actually. So email is args.get email or nothing. Get email or none. And then I want the username to args.get username or nothing. And what do I want to do about this? So I really want to find out if they exist already. So now if user.objects.filter, if this email that the user is passing is already in our system or DB or something, so it should raise an error. So filter by email equals to this particular email the user passes dot exists. Does he exist? It's okay. So it should, excuse me, sorry, should raise validation error. So it should raise validation error. So there's a validation error in this REST framework serializer. So raise serializers dot validation error, and that will be, let's say, okay, let me say specific error. So email and put as the message will be email already exists. Okay, email already exists. So now let's go ahead to do the same for username too. So user.objects.filter by username. If the username is this username, this current username that is passed, if it exists, dot exists. So we really want to raise another. I could just copy this and paste it right here. So we want to raise a validation error too. So this time is for username. Username already exists. Okay, so we're done with that. So we can just return super.validate validate args. So okay, our validate method okay is up now. So we can just do a create, just return user.objects dot create user and just passing your validated data. Okay, so now we have a serializer. Oh, I did right here. Okay, serializer. So we have a serializer. Now let's create a view for our registration. So I'll call it registration API view. Let's do. So now I'm going to bring it right to the top. Okay, so I already have a lot of views here. So class registration API view. So it's going to inherit from generic API view. So that we can do some little manipulation actually. So class. So generic API view. Okay, so So what do you want to do here? First, put our serializer class. Serializer class. Excuse me. Serializer class is RegistrationSerializer, and I will import it right here. RegistrationSerializer. Okay. Okay. So RegistrationSerializer. Okay. Now, what I want to do now is to extend the post, like override the post method. Excuse me. Throw this keyboard. Okay, the post self request. Okay, so basically you want to do two things here actually. So your serializer, bring your serializer equals to self dot get serializer data equals to request dot data. Okay, so request dot data. Now you want to check if the serializer is valid. You can just use a shorthand, serializer dot is valid, and then you pass in raise exception, raise underscore exception is equals to true. I like to put sufficient space, equals to true. Okay, so then you can just do a serializer dot save, and then the job is pretty much done. So now we can return a response to the user. Actually, I want to write. Okay, I'm going to show you something later on. So I return a response, and then say serializer dot data, serializer dot data. So we can say user, and say user versus serializer dot data. So let me bring response. Do we have response here? Okay, from REST, excuse me, from REST framework dot response, import response. So let me import it. Okay, so actually this is just the basic way you will do the post request. So but I want to be very specific, so I will rewrite this. So let me comment this out, and do it in another way. So I want to have as much information as possible. So if serializer dot is valid dot serializer is valid, then save the serializer dot call the save method, and then not only that, return a beautiful response to the user who just created the user. So I want it to have so many things. I need a request ID. I want it to look very fancy. So I want a request ID, request ID. So I want to import UUID. I want to use UUID for that. import UUID. So I want it to be string string UUID dot UUID4. Okay, then put a comma, request ID. I want a let's say a message that says something like successful or user created successfully. Let's say user created successfully. Okay, I'll put a comma, and then we can now call our user object. So user object will now be serializer.data. Okay, great. So, but if the serializer is not valid, if there are errors, so want to okay, not only that, after all this, can return a status. Status equals to status dot http 201 created. So I'm going to bring status from REST framework. So 201 created. Okay. So let me go to from REST framework. Import status. Good. Okay. That's about done. So if the validation is not right, then our guy should return something else, like the errors. Okay. So else return response. Return the response like this. So errors, I'm passing serializers dot errors. So okay, and then put a status equals to status dot http 400 bad request. Okay, so okay, good. So I think we are looking good. Do I have serializers here? Okay, let me import from REST framework. Import serializers because I'm making a response to serializers. So okay, so our registration API view is pretty much done. So let's go into the URL. So let's see the URLs. I'll first bring the view. I will let me import the registration API view. It's a class-based view, so of course, I'm gonna put it right at the top here. There is no any reason for that. I just feel like putting it at the top. So excuse me. Okay. Okay, how about I put it in the project level URL? So I'm going to put it in the project level URL. So put it in project level URL so that let me comment out this auth token. So we added this URL when we did the token authentication. So I'm going to put it right here. So I'm going to import the view from Django API app. That's the name of the app right here. Can you see? That's the name of the app. Okay, Django API app dot views import. Let's see if you can put it there. Okay, registration API view. Okay, so let's see, and I'm going to call it alt/register. So paste this dot as view, and the name we give it register. Okay. Now, okay, before I go to login, how about we test out this one and see if it works. So or let me just finish up everything. So, and also we need something else. For the login, you can see in serializers, I didn't have to create a registration, a login serializer. So for the login view, I'm going to use an inbuilt view of Django REST framework, simple JWT. So to get token, actually, you log in, send a post request to it, and you obtain a token for the user. The user is authenticated successfully, and the token is claimed. Okay, so that makes our work much easier. So that's why I will just add the login route in the URL here. So path alt/login, which will get you a token. I'm going to bring in from REST underscore framework. I'm going to bring in two views. I told you from the beginning that I'm going to use two inbuilt views of Django REST framework from REST underscore framework underscore simple JWT. Okay, dot views. I actually want them specifically. Excuse me. Dot views import there are two token obtain pair view and then token refresh view. So let me put them right here. So token obtain pair view, token obtain pair view. Oh, that P should be capital. Okay, and then token refresh view. Great. Okay, cool. So let's try for the login. I'm going to use the token obtain pair view. So it's going to return two views, an access token and a refresh token. So and then we'll have another endpoint for refreshing token. So pretty much the same thing. So token, let me just copy and paste it. So name is excuse me, login. Okay, and then we have another guy here. The login will also have this. Okay, so we have another guy here. Alt slash refresh token. Okay, so I'm now going to paste the token refresh view here. Okay, now this will be dot as view, a class based view. So let's put them right there. The name will be refresh token. Okay, let me save this and try. Let me save this and try running. Okay, I think we're done. So let's try running and see what happens. Okay, one more thing, excuse me. So under settings, okay, we have actually set this. So you have to set this to default authentication classes should be REST framework simple JWT authentication or JWT auth. Okay, that's pretty much it. So let's see. Okay, not in the right direction. Okay, Python manage the py on server. Okay, so now our server is up. Let's try browsing first to that alt register view. see. Okay. Okay. Okay, so these are registration API view. So now let me put my first name is Faith Shegun. Um, then Professor put Prodigy 007. Then put the password Prodigy 007. So let's make the post requests. Great. Can you see some message user created successfully? User first name is Faith, email is this, and username is this. So how about we inspect that and see. Let me see if I can access the admin portal. So let's try checking the admin portal to see if it's my username for admin portal. Okay. Ooh. Does that mean I don't have a super user? Okay, good. Cool. So now let's check users, and we just, can you see that's the guy we just registered? So that's the registration part. Now let's try going to our, let me check the URL again, alt/login. Let's try going to alt/login. So excuse me. Okay, alt/login. So Prodigy, we're going to log in that guy, Digi07. Then the password is the same thing. Let me copy and paste it right here, and then send the post request. Okay, good. So you see, so that's the token for this user. So if you, there's the access token, I'm going to do something. Let's copy this and verify what's there at JWT.io. Let's, so I actually use JWT.io to test, to kind of I don't know, do I say decrypt your JWT token? So encoded. So just paste the encoded token right here, and it's going to break it down for you. Excuse me, I don't know what's wrong. My mouse. Come on, don't do this. Oh, I'm trying to paste it here, but I don't know what's going on. Paste the token here. Let me try refreshing. Jeez. Okay, good. So let me remove this and paste in our guy. So can you see token type, access token, expiry, and then the user ID for that user is user 3. let me confirm that. Okay, so I actually cannot see that here, but I could just do something and in the serializers add the user ID. Okay, so that I can be able to know the ID that user, that particular user. Okay, so um that's that about the authentication. So if you now wanted to kind of use another API, like I think I had some Swagger Inspector sessions, so you can just use this access token, concat it with excuse me, authorization JWT bearer and paste the token, and let me grab some URL to some resources like product or categories or books. Okay, API slash v1 slash products, API slash v1 slash products. So for 8000 API slash v1 slash products. So let's see if this works. Okay, must contain two space delimited. Okay, token is invalid or expired, so you can just call the refresh token now. Let's try calling the refresh token. So I hope you got the main point. So okay, Now we got a new one now. Okay, so can you see it works now? So our token was probably expired or something. So can you see all the products? Product 1, product 2, product 3. I could get books also. Books, sent, book 1, book 4, and so on. So that's it for this tutorial, guys. Thank you for watching. Please, if you like this video, please subscribe, comment, um, and I hope to see you in the next video. The next video I'm going to make a full stack sort of tutorial using Django and Angular for front end. So thank you. Please once again like, comment, subscribe if you like these videos, and see you next time. Thank you.